Mrs. Clark, roll call.
Trustee Bertelson,
Here.
Trustee Black,
Here.
Trustee D,
Here.
Trustee Lucine,
Excused.
Trustee Moran,
Here.
Trustee Neal,
Here.
Trustee Sandy Wilson,
Here.
Trustee Sarah Wilson.
Here.
Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance. Welcome to the September 22nd Bozeman School Board meeting. Thank you for joining us. Public comment will be taken throughout the meeting on agenda and non-agenda items. During public comment, no member of the public will be allowed to comment on contested cases, other adjudicative proceedings, or personnel matters. The public portion of this board meeting are being recorded in accordance with District Policy 420 and Section 2-3-214 MCA. By remaining in this meeting, all participants and attendees acknowledge they may appear on the recording, which will be placed on the school district's website for a minimum of 1 year from today. Further instructions about participating will be provided throughout the meeting. Before we engage in the business of the board, I would like to share a core purpose of the Bozeman School District, which can be found on the back of our nameplates as well as to the left of me on the wall. It reads, Bozeman Public Schools exist to ensure high-level learning for all students. Well, welcome again. All right, tonight we have some great guests with us, so we'll just move right into the Bozeman experience. It's the Board of Education, which is the T Fellows. Montana State University Office of International Programs is partnering with the Bozeman Public Schools to welcome 22 teachers and from 19 different countries on Fulbright Teaching Excellence and Achievement Program T. The program is funded by the Bureau of Education and Cultural Affairs of the U.S. Department of State and facilitated by International Research and Exchange Board in Washington, D.C. The program provides secondary school teachers from around the world the opportunity to develop exercise in their subject areas, enhance their teaching skills, and increase their knowledge about the United States. T Fellows are here in the United States to participate in a 6-week professional development program at Montana State University, which is one of 4 universities hosting the program this fall. The Fulbright Teaching Excellence and Achievement Program is a 6-week professional development program for full international secondary school teachers that provides professional development to enhance teachers' experience. Oh, is that? Teaching disciplines, and equipment for the evidence-based best practices in teaching methodology, curriculum development, and instructional technologies. The program continues to improving secondary education in participating countries by preparing program participants to serve as teacher leaders and to have them share experiences and skills with their colleagues and students upon returning home. The 22 international teachers are currently partnered in Bozeman Public School teachers at Bozeman High School and Gallatin High School for a 40-hour field experience. The overall program dates are September 10th through October 27th, and we are thrilled to welcome them to our district. I'll turn it over to Armando. If you can come up, he'll say a few things, and then they'll all introduce themselves. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a real honor to stand before you today to share about an experience that brings together teachers from 19 countries under one common purpose: strengthen education through leadership, collaboration, and innovation. This experience, known as TEA Fulbright Program, is funded by U.S. Department, and where it's believed that teachers not only transmit knowledge, but they are also leaders of change in school and communities. When teachers grow, the entire nation grows. One of the central areas we explore here is EFL teaching English as a foreign language. So today, it's learning the language is an essential tool because we are living in an interconnected world. English is more just than a subject. It's a bridge that connects students to global opportunities. This program emphasizes methodology that are student-centered. We have been working on that in our previous classes. Interactive and inclusive. Of course, culture interchange. We are able to connect with teachers around the world and we can share best practices. And a lot of use of technology too. Here in Bosman, I have seen firsthand how schools embody these principles. Visiting the high schools has been truly inspiring. Walking through their halls, I could feel an atmosphere of community and respect. The High School of Bosman stand as a role model, not only for Montana, but for the whole world. Finally, let me highlight the leadership. The TA program has shown us that every teacher is a leader, whether inside the classroom, within the school, or in a wider or in their community. So today, as I reflect on this international fellowship, I carry on a key message. Teachers are a role model of hope and progress with the right support and collaboration and vision. We can make education not only relevant, but transformative. Thank you. I'm gonna pass it on to my T fellows so they can also introduce themselves. Thank you so much.
Happy evening. I am Sampath Kumar Kokula from India representing. I am very happy to be here on this day. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, I am Miguel Suarez. I am from Timor-Leste. I'm so very happy to be part of this program in order to empower and learn more experience and to share whatever that I have with our friends and also here in the United States we learn and we will bring more experience that we have learned, we gained here to share more with our friends in our home country. I think that's all and thank you very much.
So, happy evening, everyone. I am Aygul. I am from Uzbekistan. I am very excited to being and participating in this program. It is a culture exchange and experience exchange program. We are in one boat, in one cruise, and in one aim in order to develop our country's education, share our ideas here, and contribute. I hope that I am going to contribute to the education of my country. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I am from Kyrgyzstan. My name is Tohtakhana Jisatarova, and it is a great opportunity to have exchange our experiences and also to learn other culture and also to learn education system and all learning styles. It's a great opportunity to bring to my country everything about education. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Godfrey Christian from Tanzania. I'm very happy to be here in Bozeman. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mariam Kunate from Mali. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rafi Rodriguez. I'm from Dominican Republic. Thank you for having us.
Hello, everyone. My name is Madeleine. I'm from Bolivia. I'm happy to be here to share our experiences. I'm happy to know you, happy to stay in this fabulous place. So I hope I will take a lot of inspiration to my country. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
My name is Sharafuddin Ajlani. I am from Jordan.
Hello everyone, Iman Zain from Egypt. I'm incredibly thrilled to be here with you to know such a prominent culture and history of American history. Thank you.
Hi all, I am Barna Nigmatova from Uzbekistan, and I'm feeling so happy nowadays as well to be a part of this program. And by this, I'm having lots of experience and exchange, both cultural and educational as well. And thank you so much for paying attention so much that we didn't expect before. And good luck in your future job as well.
Greetings, Estélio Selvina Mateus, all the way from Mozambique. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Gia Ding from Vietnam. Thank you for having me.
My name is Altın Stordova. I'm from Turkmenistan. Thank you a lot for having us.
Hello, everyone. My name is Urjan. I'm from Mongolia.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Daniela Abrantes. I'm from Timor-Leste. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ekil Nguyen. I'm from Vietnam. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Juanita Tapia Gonzalez from Ecuador, South America.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lorraine Akifa. I'm from Papua New Guinea. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Abdou from Niger. Thank you for having us.
Hi, my name is Lorena. I'm from Bosnia and Herzegovina. Thank you.
Armando, I didn't hear at the beginning. Where are you from? Okay, all right, thank you. Didn't want to miss out. Well, thank you guys. It was a pleasure having you guys at our meeting. You're more than welcome to stay for the whole meeting, but also we won't be offended if you leave. So again, thanks for being in our district and to being a part of this program. Any other comments, trustees? All right. Again, thank you. Have a great evening. Enjoy the rest of your time here. All right, next up, recognitions and awards, National Merit finalists. I think it's Mr. Mills and Mrs. Schnee. Come on up.
Okay, thank you for having us. As you know, as many of you know, you've seen National Merit semifinalists before, so I won't spend a lot of time elaborating, but, and Pax has to leave soon for a violin lesson, so I want to get a little bit of information in before Pax has to go. But as you know, these students from both Gallatin and Bozeman High represent less than the top 1% of all of students in the current senior class. They qualified by taking the PSAT their junior year and are also chosen from the top scorers in throughout the state of Montana. All of these students, it's one of those awards where you're recognized and then you have a lot of work to do. So they win this, or earn this recognition through their PSAT score that qualifies them, and then they complete a number of additional steps to become hopefully a National Merit finalist. And all of them, I don't know the Bozeman High students, but I feel like I can probably speak equally about both groups in that they are academically strong, they're taking AP classes, they're highly involved and engaged in our schools, they're musicians, they're athletes, they're speakers and debaters. But I'm going to take a few minutes just to tell you about the Gallatin High students specifically and what makes them exceptional and unique. So I'm going to start with Pax. When I asked Pax's counselor for a little insight or quote, Mrs. Williamson said, "Pax is pretty amazing because they are extraordinarily interesting and extraordinarily interested." And I thought that was a great summary of a human being. One thing that I said I wasn't going to talk about academics, but I have to a little bit with PACS, because as many of you probably know, you need 23 credits to graduate from the Bozeman School District, and PACS at the start of their senior year already has 24. And while many students are, okay, I'd like to get out after lunch, or can I stay third period and have an early release? That's the common for many seniors, but PACS has 7 credits this year, 5 of which are advanced placement, including calculus, statistics, and physics. So not shying away from a challenge for their senior year. PACS has a lot of other interesting things as well. PACS is a citizen scientist who tracks the water quality for the Gallatin River and reports that data. Also, while there's the STEM side to PACS, PACS also is very involved in our Gallatin Theater program and is the president of our theater club, and was also a finalist for a program, and I forget the name, and you can ask PACS about it if there's time, but just a really unique and exceptional program about making the world a better place. So that is PACS. I'm going to start next, go to Jameson. Jameson Palmer has 2 really interesting things stand out to me about Jameson. The first time I met Jameson was at a community forum for the transition to the block schedule. Not highly attended, generally speaking, and definitely not highly attended by students. But Jameson was there with a lot of wonderful questions, really insightful and thoughtful input, and I just thought to myself, I think Jameson was a sophomore that year, and I was like, this is a person that I need to know a little bit better. And fortunately, I've had the opportunity to do that, and another memory that stands out to me about Jameson is last school year, before his junior year, weeks before school started, weeks before fall sports, Jameson was out in front of the school with the tenor drums, which are like the 4 to 6 drum set that they play in marching band, and he was meeting one of our former graduates, going over, like really making sure that he had his part down and knew what he was doing and was ready for marching band camp. And I think that was just really an important testament to Jameson's dedication and concept of servant leadership and really willingness to go above and beyond to really excel and do a good job, which I see him embody that in many, many ways. And then finally, last from Gallatin High is Axel Butler. Axel is another student who exemplifies servant leadership. He is in Key Club. He's a vice president, one of our most active service organizations. He's the service vice president for the National Honor Society. And in addition to all of the service for those organizations, he also creates his own service projects. So he and another student develop science projects for, they work with our special ed teachers and develop engaging science projects that are accessible and inclusive so that all of our students, regardless of their abilities, can participate in the engaging, exciting components of science experiments. Axel's also an avid outdoorsman and a member of a whitewater kayaking team, which I think sounds exciting and also terrifying. And he is also an intern for this organization that I have to read to you because it's impressive and complex, the Early Career Alternative Dispute Resolution Network. So you can ask him about that later. But those are just a few small insights into these exceptional human beings from Gallatin High. So thank you for the opportunity to tell you about them.
Okay, thank you, Principal Schnee. I have the honor of introducing the Bozeman High National Merit semifinalists, the 6 individuals to my left here. It's one of my favorite times of year when I get to go talk to this year's semifinalists and take them out of classroom and congratulate them and see where they are around school and what they're up to that day. This particular group, I will say, particularly kind and humble. When I met with you, we schedule a picture, which nobody's really all that interested in doing, but I get them gathered on the steps, and we do a picture that week, and they were very kind and humble about that, and I appreciate that and getting to know you a little bit better just this fall. I have these in alphabetical order, so if you could kind of wave at the trustees when I introduce you so they know who I'm talking about at that particular moment. But first, I'll start with Adam Bukowski. Adam is a member of our Human Rights Club, our Academic Olympics team, the National Business Honor Society, and this will be a theme here for these 6 individuals, is a member of our speech and debate team. The other thing that I enjoy about this process is looking at all of these students' historical grades, their transcript, and seeing, obviously, I shouldn't say obviously, but it goes without saying that their transcripts are pretty dominant and impressive, but I like looking at all the different courses you've all taken to have subtle nuances in your academic dominance. Next individual I'll introduce is Phoebe Cross, if you can wave there. Phoebe is a standout member of our speech and debate team, specifically participates in policy debate, which is one of the more intensive and rigorous activities within the speech and debate world. Phoebe has been an outstanding member of our wind ensemble as well in our music world. I'll move to Alex Hansen. Alex is a member of Model United Nations, Academic Olympics, Academic World Quest, and speech and debate. Alex also plays the harp in the school orchestra, which is really unique. We don't always have a harp in the school orchestra. And then I'll move to Aubrey Hansen, who participates in Academic World Quest, the Spanish National Honor Society, our Arabic Club, our Human Rights Club, holds one of our 4 leadership positions in our National Honor Society, also participates in Academic Olympics and speech and debate. Outside of school, or inside outside school, is a volunteer with Special Olympics and also has volunteered with Bienvenidos and the Montana Fish and Wildlife and Parks. Moving right along to Ryan Lofsgarden. Ryan is a member of our wind ensemble, which is our top band. He's a member of jazz band, chamber choir, jazz choir. You're sensing a theme there, but that's not his most passionate musical exploit. Ryan is a marching band section leader. I have the opportunity every year to sit in on the interview process for the section leader, the leadership positions within marching band. I have never seen a student so passionate about marching band as Ryan is, and that shows on the field every Friday night and in their competitions. And of course, Ryan is a member of speech and debate. And then last but not least, Cooper White is a member of our Hawks Theater Company on stage, is a member of our Future Health Professionals HOSA Club, and also is a standout member of our speech and debate team. So these are our 6 Bozeman High National Merit semifinalists.
All right, well, congratulations to all of you. Pax is taking off. All right. I was just about to tell you, Pax, we couldn't see you at all. Well, some of us couldn't because you were behind the column, but have a good night. Congratulations. Again, congratulations. Great honor for all of you guys. Are there any comments by trustees for the recipients? Go ahead, Liana.
I just want to say congratulations on all your hard work. It's really a wonderful thing. We're so proud of you. Can I ask a question? No? Okay. No. I will hold off.
No.
Congratulations.
If you would like to ask questions, you could volunteer for the reading. We have some new rules, so not always easy to get used to new rules. So. Anybody else want to make a comment? I don't know very many of you, but Ryan, I do recall from younger ages, you were on a couple of the teams I coached. You were one of the kids that had the most, Mr. Mills mentioned, passion. Regardless if you were on the field or off the field, the amount of passion you had celebrating something positive on the field was always amazing, always stand out. I've coached a few different teams, so that was always fun. And then also I do recall Cooper, a little math work in Morning Star. Probably wasn't very hard for you. You're probably pretty bored. You're probably pretty bored with what I was. Ryan, were you in there too? No, this was Morning Star, so I think this was like second grade or something like that. So that was you were probably then anyways. But so those are a couple of memories I have with you guys going to Morning Star and seeing you. So congratulations. I'm not surprised that you're having this honor. So turn it over to Greg.
Well, thank you, Principals Schnee and Mills, for the presentation. And did any of you actually have this honor targeted when you took the PSAT as juniors? Anyone have it identified as a goal? Or even know what it was at that time?
I mean, I think a lot of us go to the PSAT knowing that it's a thing that, you know, you can certainly achieve if you score high enough. But I think for a lot of us, it's just sort of something you go into and see what you get because it is, at the end of the day, a pretest. But I'm certainly incredibly grateful to have this opportunity.
Well, listening to your accolades, you're all top-tier representatives of our school districts and your high school. So thank you for being such productive and amazing members of our high school community. And it's going to be an honor to see you walk across the stage next May. So would you like me to ask your question? Okay. Well, with that said, I would support the recommendation that the Board of Trustees adopt the following resolution. Whereas approximately 16,000 semifinalists have been named in the 67th Annual National Merit Scholarship Program from across the United States, and whereas semifinalists are designated on a state representational basis and are the highest scoring entrants in each state, and whereas Adam Bukowski, Phoebe Cross, Alexandra Hansen, Aubrielle Hansen, Ryan Lofsgarden, and Cooper White have been designated as Bozeman High School National Merit semifinalists, and whereas Axel Butler, Jamison Palmer, and Pax Watson have been designated as Gallatin High School National Merit semifinalists, therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees recognize and honor Adam Bukowski, Axel Butler, Phoebe Cross, Alexandra Hansen, Aubrielle Hansen, Ryan Lofsgarden, Jamison Palmer, Pax Watson, and Cooper White for this accomplishment.
Second.
Motion made by Trustee Neal, seconded by Trustee Sandy Wilson. Any public comment? All right, all those in favor? Motion passes 7-0. Since you guys are the only group tonight, you guys just want to come up around this area? We'll huddle up a little bit and we'll take a picture up here. And Greg has a couple of handouts for you, or one per person.
You guys mind passing those out?
You guys might know that just squat slightly, maybe. What's that? No. Yeah. All right. Hey, congratulations, you guys. Yep. Congrats.
Congratulations. Axel, get that surgery done.
What surgery is that?
He has a herniated disc.
Oh, jeez.
And so she was asking.
You didn't stay?
Let's go on social media now, so I'm getting myself out of the hall.
All right, section 3, action items, consent. We have a policy reading, second reading, 3.1.1. I would entertain a motion. I would entertain a motion from a trustee. Sandy?
I move that we approve action item consent 3.1.1. Second.
All right, motion made by trustee Sandy Wilson and seconded by trustee Moran. Any public comment? All those in favor? Motion passes 7-0. Next one is elementary district, so entertain a motion. Approval of non-residential enrollment.
I move that we approve action item 3.51.
Second.
All right, motion made by trustee Moran, seconded by trustee D. Any public comment? All those in favor? Motion passes 6-0. All right, action items, singular. Casey, I think you're up. 4.2.1, consider approval of high school baseball.
Thank you, Chair Black. Trustees, it was about a year ago that we began a formal conversation at the board table regarding moving forward with high school baseball. Since that time, a lot of work has been done in the community and by district administration to bring us to a recommendation this evening. A reminder that shortly after the September 24 meeting, we communicated publicly an if-then pathway. The if part was around addressing Title IX proportionality, and then were all the logistics regarding high school baseball. Pleased to bring a recommendation this evening that we are formally recommending that we move forward with a 5-part proposal here. I'll walk you briefly through those 5 pieces and then answer any questions you have. Part A is recommendation to approve adding MHSA sanctioned high school baseball as a male spring sport at both Gallatin High School and Bozeman High School beginning spring 2026, inclusive of both junior varsity and varsity teams, given sufficient player turnout for both teams. There's a link there to a non-compete memorandum of understanding between the district and the Bozeman Bucks American Legion Baseball Club. We've had ongoing conversations with that board and are in a good place that there's an understanding that while there may be some avenues for students who are not involved in our high school team, for example, students who are cut from a varsity or JV team or from sub-varsity athletes, freshman, sophomore type students, that the Bucks may engage in workouts with those students. But there's a clear understanding that the American Legion season and the high school season will not overlap one another. C is approving that the district move forward with continuing to negotiate. It's anticipated to be a 1-year-only sublease of Heroes Park, not to exceed $20,000 per year, and direct my team to negotiate the terms of that short-term sublease with the involved parties. There's a clause there, if the parties cannot reach an agreement, preparations for moving forward with high school baseball for the spring 2026 would halt. That's in there because Heroes Park really is our short-term option within the community, and we need to make that agreement work. You'll notice in the language there, it says sublease of Heroes Park. There could be pieces of the puzzle to that sublease that involve the indoor facility, and we left that open for the district to explore with the American Legion program. Part D is we've communicated along the way that we have potential Title IX implications regarding facilities for baseball and softball. Brought the board to the board's attention some Title IX issues and complaints that have been filed in a neighboring AA district. Because of that, we've communicated we need a firm, long-term solution for high school baseball that also takes into account the Title IX implications for softball. And consistent with the processes of this board, we've had one general long-range facility planning committee meeting where long-term facility use for baseball was discussed. Our recommendation is to go back to that committee. We've generated some more information, have more quotes on some of the options we're exploring within the community. And the process would be that the Long-Range Facility Planning Committee would make a formal recommendation to this board about the long-term facilities for baseball, taking into account Title IX implications for girls softball. And then finally, as we do in many memorandums of understanding, that we would approve the district naming Bozeman Bucks American Legion Club as an additional insured party subject to the use states established in any Heroes Park short-term or long-term field use agreement. So it's a 5-part recommendations. I think all 5 pieces of the puzzle are important. We are appreciative of the fundraising efforts that have happened in the community. They've raised over $100,000 for upfront costs. We have the fiscal impact there. We've built high school baseball into the long-term budget for athletics and activities. And it's my recommendation that this board approve the 5-part recommendation.
Thank you, Casey. Any trustees' comments or questions? Sandy?
Yeah, I just would like to thank the district, people who worked on this. It's been a lengthy and very in-depth process that I feel very comfortable with all of this. All the bases I feel have been covered at great length. There's been an incredible collaborative effort between the baseball community and the district. And so I really support this.
Greg?
I support this as well. Just have a quick question, then happy to make a motion to approve. Did we have dialogue with our insurance carrier that they're able to list Legion as additional insured?
No, not yet. We're waiting on this. We add additional insureds all the time, so I'm not concerned about that. But we'll make sure it can be done.
Okay. I'm happy to make a motion unless you want to call for more comment.
If there's any other comments or questions? If not, sure.
My screen just changed. Okay. Motion to approve the superintendent's 5-part recommendation as presented.
Second.
All right, motion made by trustee Neal, seconded by trustee Bertelson. Any public comment? All those in favor? Motion passes 7-0. All right, thank you. First time we've been, is that the first time that we've,
Yeah,
somebody's
that's the
given
first
us applause? Oh, wow, it's pretty nice. Come on back in 2 weeks, we'll be here still. All right, next item, board discussion. First section is 5.2, which is committee reports.
Thank you, Chair Neal. The only standing board committee I'm aware of that has met since our last meeting was the DOCC, District Ongoing Collaboration Committee. Just a reminder to trustees that this was born out of the our longtime processes of solving things via consensus. And actually, as per the recommendation of trustee Lucine and some other trustees, questions around why do we wait 2 years to sit in a circle with our negotiated union contracts, and is there a way to get together more often? And so out of that came the DOCC. The DOCC has a variety of purposes. One is to solve problems at the lowest level possible. Another one is that it oversees the if and when we go to full-blown consensus. They make recommendations on whether consensus is needed and who would facilitate consensus. And then more recently, the DOCC is also the group that's sort of overseeing the staff well-being goal in terms of the LRSP. There are so many moving parts to that action plan, and so that group kind of takes stock of how that's going. We meet monthly. We met in September, unpacked. There's some new members, so DOCC 101 had a grow your own teacher update and staffing update from HR. Talked about class size, current reality of class size in our K-5, 6, 8, and 9 through 12 classrooms. Reminders that we operate in a neighborhood school model, and because of that, there are classes that are overflow and classes that are under accreditation standards. Reminders that we made some procedure changes that all mid-year transfers, if a family moves in our K-5 schools right now mid-year, we fill up classrooms at schools that are below accreditation standard, regardless of where that family's moving into, to help ensure equitable class numbers. And then also a reminder for the BEA that class size was not prioritized by the BEA during negotiations. Salaries were the priority, and that's where the dollars went. Also, we dug into the staff well-being goal, all the many items that we're putting in place to help support our staff. and then gave some reminders around the 5-year plan. For a lot of the folks on that committee, they're in summer mode when this board is passing the 5-year plan. And so just reminders that it's massive action around the same 4 goal areas and 6 measurable goals that we've had. And that massive action does not equal 100 new initiatives. It's 100 new items that are massive action tied to achieving those goals. Trustee, the Wilson duo are the trustees on the committee. And again, take any questions you had on the DOCC.
Done? Okay. Any other committee reports? No. All right. All right, next item, 5.3, 2025-26 Superintendent Evaluation Formative Assessment Discussion, number 1. Vice Chair D and I bring the first formative discussion component of the superintendent evaluation. You have been provided with an evaluation at a glance form for notes over the next few months. I dropped those off for you before the meeting, so they should be at your chair. The purpose of tonight's board discussion is to formally, publicly, and transparently begin the evaluation process of Superintendent Bertram's job performance. Superintendent Bertram is choosing to waive his right to privacy for the evaluation based on his personal belief that his position as superintendent is a position of public trust, and the public's right to know outweighs his right to privacy. Please remember that evaluating the superintendent's job performance is one of the primary responsibilities we are tasked with as a school board. It is in human nature to be hesitant about giving critical feedback, especially in an open meeting. There will be 2 formative conversations and then a final summative discussion in this process. So I'll turn it over to Casey.
Thank you. Mr. Van Buren, if you can click on the first here and go to page 3 where there's a timeline. There you go. So we are at the September formative assessment part of this evaluation. We'll have another formative conversation in sometime in October and November, and then a reminder that it's that November-December timeline when the formal rubric and formal process happens. If you go to page 4, a reminder that there are this evaluation tool has formative and summative components, and it's tied to a criterion. So the criterion be the professional standards for educational leaders. I've done a self-assessment. At some point in the process, you'll get blind copies of the rubric from Lori Ross, and you all complete your assessment of my leadership. During this opening formative discussion, typically provide you with what my professional learning goal or goals are. If you go to the bottom of page 4 there, Mike. Thank you. I've typically had 2 goals. After a lot of discussion with my team and board leadership, have kind of boiled it down to 1 goal. I continually reiterate to trustees and to the community that the long-range strategic plan is my job description. And we've connected dots to that tool more than we ever have in the past, and have an incredible amount of action items tied to each one of those goal areas. So my goal is that I'll ensure effective leadership coordination and accountability in advancing the district's 4 LRSP goal areas and 6 measurable goals for 25-26. It includes overseeing and completing the associated action items tied to each goal, monitoring progress, providing regular updates to the board and to the community. In carrying out the work, I will intentionally connect initiatives across goal areas to avoid silos, to leverage shared resources, and to ensure the district's strategies are cohesive, efficient, and aligned to the long-term mission and vision of our district. So that, if we actually and effectively, if I actually complete this goal in an effective manner, we are leveraging what the long-range strategic plan has in store for our students and for student learning, and we're going to see great outcomes on the back end. So I feel like it's there's a lot to it, and because there's a lot to it, I have to delegate a lot of that and have an executive team working on many different parts of this, and then there's 12 buildings that we're managing that all have their ownership of the long-range strategic plan. So it's a big goal, but I feel good about all the players we have in place that are all rowing in the same direction, all the dots we've been able to connect to make setting this type of goal attainable for me as a superintendent. I would like trustee feedback on the goal if possible. And the only other thing I'll say is the rubric, which is linked in here multiple times, it's also linked in the board packet. The rubrics has been updated for 25-26. It has my self-assessment. All the evidence that is in there is evidence from last year. So between now and our next conversation, I'll be updating that evidence with current year LRSP documents and the strategies that and the evidence to support my self-assessment on any of those standard areas. With that, I take any questions or feedback you have. I also want to reiterate that I understand that it can be uncomfortable to give critical feedback in a public meeting. That's not why I'm waiving my right to privacy. I truly believe that this position as a community public school superintendent, the public has a right to know about what I'm doing or not doing and how effective I am. So I am hoping for candid and open feedback from trustees.
Thank you, Casey. I'll start with any trustee comments. If it's not rolling off your tongue right away, I'll come up with something myself. All right, well, with everybody jumping to the mic, Sandy, thank you.
Well, first of all, I have to say that I'm really proud that we live and breathe a document that a lot of work and thought has gone into, and we've engaged the community to do that, and we're actually using it. There's many examples of long-range strategic plans being developed and then put on our bookshelf, and there is no dots or connected to it, or it doesn't guide the goals of the district. And so, number one, I'm really, really proud that we've gotten to the point where we are using this document and it's being developed to be used in a way. So thank you for that. You always have such lofty goals, Casey, and I support this wholeheartedly. I support also the idea that you're engaging a lot of the different people in the district to help you put this all together and make this work, because that's not top down, that's collaborative. And so I just need I think hopefully Trustee Black will give me an idea or a moment to think about some feedback to give you in order to do that. I just need to think about it a little bit more, but I have to say that I'm just really proud that this is how it's going to roll. And it has actually been rolling like this for a couple of years, but now you have a formal goal. So I'll be back in a minute, Casey.
Casey, I from talking about this last week or so, and looking at with you at narrowing it down to just the LRSP and having one goal. Seems like, well, that's just one goal and it's not very much. But then when we have Patrick 2 weeks ago come here and talk about everything, all the layers that go under what he's just looking at and multiply that. And that's been a part of our conversations as well, is that to execute all the things, there's so many little pieces that have to be coordinated. I would agree with Sandy, which your approach has been a team approach. On many different things that you've done in the district and the successes that we've had, or the challenges that we've faced in different situations. I encourage you to continue to work in the collaborative format that you have done such a great job at. And I think this is, this makes it very transparent for everybody. Like, here's what our document is. It should be able to easy for people to navigate, looking at, okay, yeah, this checking boxes, and appreciate that your willingness and vulnerability to have this conversation in public. I agree with you. I think that makes people, I mean, if they want to come, which there's so many people here tonight, for this conversation, if the information's there, and obviously, as I read at the beginning, this is out there in the public for a year. So I feel great that we have these opportunities where we can point to things that, even though all the communication we try, it doesn't always seem to, even though it's there, it's not always read, it's not always heard, but at least we can point back to it. And that's what I feel really good about our district, is that how much we try to communicate, regardless, sometimes it feels like it's a fail. And that's probably as far as just, as far as feedback for you, that one piece is just reminding you that even though we're doing a lot of different work, and sometimes it might feel like a fail based on a survey or feedback or whatever it happens to be, I know that we're doing a lot of work within our district to not make those things happen, and that there's two sides of communication, and somebody has to want to receive communication and see it. So it might not always be a failure, but the words might feel like it at times, and trying not to take it personally. I haven't seen that from you, but just a reminder. It's one thing. Sandy?
I remember last year I asked you, Casey, what do you feel like your strength is as a leader? And one of the things you mentioned was that you were really good at building systems, and I agree with that. I really do. And when you put that with this lofty goal, which I love lofty goals too, I just would encourage you to keep track of how much of your life this is taking, and the people below you, and in the schools and everything, because looking at this and knowing I don't know all the things that go on in the district, but there's a whole lot. And well-being is, I feel like we need a third goal to staff well-being, student well-being, and then district administration well-being. And it's not in there, but I'm just going to add that in for feedback.
Leanna?
I just want to add in addition to everything that people are saying, and I told you this the other day, that I'm just so thankful for your leadership and everything you've put together. And when I'm going through this document and seeing all the new things, I mean, it's a lot, but I can also see the system and the team that you've created to support all those things to make that come about, which is an incredible testament to what your leadership is, to have faith in all that, happening in that way. As I was sitting here just listening and thinking, like, what kind of feedback? So here's my wonder, and you don't have to answer it specifically. I guess when you plan something, right, and what happens on a rainy day, and I imagine you have a system for that, like, all best laid plans out there, and you don't need to answer it specifically, and that's purposely a little vague, but things don't always go as planned. And I think it is your system that is the backup, but just something I'm wondering.
Thank you. Greg?
Yep, thanks, Casey. Good job as always. After reading through everything, I felt it relevant to comment on the massive action theme for 2025-26, which, after going through everything, it adds bullet points to the 6 measurable goals. And those 6 measurable goals already had comprehensive bullet points attached. So when I look through the new bullet points, specifically related to the massive action, I'm not going to read all of this, but I took notes on things that I found noteworthy. And just a couple examples: the grade level reading goal, new, add 1.0 literacy language coach at Highlight and Whittier, add new tools, language screen and Nelly piloted in PK and K5 buildings. Skip down to graduation goal, 2025-26, use the LRSP goal to document support for multilanguage English learners. Again, I'm not gonna read everything, but just a couple, just to get them out there. The early literacy goal, increase capacity at Bozeman Reed's early learning community. Bozeman Reed's pursues a membership in the campaign for grade level reading. Skip down to staff well-being goal. New, all this is new massive action for the upcoming year. Teacher workload and support guidance document developed at consensus. Strengthened communication between the site and central office, which includes more superintendent visibility in the buildings. Launch a PK, a pre-K to 12 attendance committee. Launch internal stakeholders process, addressing the realities of One Bozeman. All these things are huge, and really, really relevant and really important. Student well-being goal, massive action, new. Community surveys on cell phones for schools. That's maybe one of the most important things we can do right now. Next on the list, massive action, community engagement campaign, youth resilience project. That's equally as important. I mean, these are all just profile of a graduate, unpack and build the K-12 continuum of essential academic and social behaviors for the 5 main durable skills under profile of a graduate. So I guess I just kind of wanted to get these words out that were already in here. One topic we've addressed with things that we've attacked in the past is how hard do we push? You know, examples of that are getting the block in, you know, lots of other things. And, you know, somewhere on here was approach the foundation for a suicide prevention specialist. That, I mean, that, so these are all, every single one of these things, there's a reason that they're on here. Approaching the foundation, that'll be one presentation and you're done. Those guys will sprint away with that for sure. A lot of these other things are enormous, and when I go through it and actually read it, and not just my own notes, it feels enormous. And so I know that you've done this because I know you, but since we're in the evaluation and we're talking about it, I'm just gonna put it out there. Just do a good job of zooming out to 50,000 feet and look at all this, and decide how much. I mean, nothing probably happens in an organization our size without some pushing. I understand that. Nothing would ever get accomplished, so pushing is part of the animal. Mm-hmm. But how much pushing is this all going to involve in taking people out of their comfort zones and the whole thing? I hope we get it all in. So that, yeah, those are my comments. Thanks.
Thank you, Greg. Lauren?
The other day when we sat in our leadership meeting and you said you had one goal, there was that you were going to switch from 2 goals to 1. My mind kind of went, oh, let's see what this is, because I knew that you weren't going from 2 goals and trying to do less, that it was going to be one really lofty goal, and that's exactly what it was. With that being said, I think that this speaks to what you've always done. I think it speaks to your leadership style. And it reminded me of the stuff Patrick said the other day when he was here, that you were intentional, that you were always connecting. And what we've heard from the beginning since you moved into the Wilson building is you broke down those silos, you avoided them, and you helped everybody work together. And then the word efficient really speaks out to me, because in everything we've done, I think you've respected our time. You've respected the time of the employees throughout the district, whether that's at a meeting, at a leadership meeting, at a breakfast. You come to the table with what needs to be talked about while taking time to listen to everybody, and you just help things go smoothly. So when I see the key words in there, I still think you're crazy. Like, it's a big undertaking, and I get it. But a lot of those are your natural characteristics as a leader. And so I am in complete support of this. My feedback would be, after sitting on the committee where we talk about our student well-being and all of the work with our employee well-being, that we just remember that we also need to take that time for ourselves, which I think you've done a better job of in recent years of making sure that you step away when you need to breathe also, because we can't keep all these systems in place if people are burned out. So I think it's super important to protect you as well. But with that being said, I am very grateful, and I think this is great for the community because we should be really proud of our LRSP, and now we're also tying it into our leaders' goal for the year. So thank you.
Any other comments, questions? Casey, do you have what you need?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you for everybody's comments and thoughts, and Casey, your time putting this all together. All right. Item 6, public comment on non-agenda items. All right. Reports, executive cabinet. Mike?
Yeah.
Oh,
This Mike, sorry. Yeah.
Mike.
I was here.
The other
so-
Mike flipped his thing on too.
I know.
Yeah. Arm wrestle.
I do want to talk about, and Trustee Neal mentioned the literacy coach. I sat in a great meeting today over at Highlight. So our literacy coach is part-time at Highlight Elementary and at Whittier Elementary, and a great discussion on developing the pathways for students. One of the goals that we have for this position is that we know that the development of reading skills has two major components, the language development component and then also the word recognition component. And we also learned with some time with Dr. Nell and then over the summer that we need to be able to differentiate a pathway, a core instructional pathway for students that are coming to us with low foundational word recognition skills. We have to maintain, and so you've heard this discussion in education quite often, that we still need to teach grade level standards. And so that grade level is going to be the language instruction. Every student's going to receive, if you're a first grader, you're going to receive first grade level language instruction through our core resources. It is, if you are identified as a more complex learner that needs additional instruction and those word recognition, around those word recognition skills. And so that's where and then the other term in education where we need to meet students where they are, that's the part in developing reading instruction that we need to meet students where they are, and that foundational reading, word recognition skills. So it was a great discussion. Katie McKinney is leading that discussion and working to develop these pathways that are very similar at both schools where the needs are the most. So just wanted to report out, connecting it to that grade level reading goal that we have and bringing it back to the literacy coach position that we talked about earlier in the year.
Thank you, Mike. Other Mike?
Good evening, trustees. Can you put up that slide I sent you, please? Oh, that's right. School Funding Interim Commission met last Monday and Tuesday in Helena. We had a 2-day meeting. The meeting was facilitated by NCEE, and it was a kind of a deep dive into a lot of the things Gary's been talking about, the system of education in the state and where the committee generally wanted to go. I put up, there was a bunch of slides they went through. One of them really resonated with me. I shared that, and Mike will put it up here in just a second, talking about some, I don't want to get ahead of there it is right there. This is a study from this year, World Economics Forum Future of Jobs report, discussion in the committee about what employers are looking for. These are the top 26, I don't know why they came up with that number, 26 current core skills that employers are looking for on here. And I thought the list was super interesting. There's a color code, for each one of the 26, and it's kind of categorized over there on the upper right. So as you look down at the first, 7 or 8 things, the things that you see that bubble to the top, you see a lot of pinkish purple. There's 2 kinds of purples. That also threw me off. But the pinkish purple for cognitive skills was numbers 1 and 4. Then you start looking into self-efficacy skills, resilience, flexibility, agility, motivation, self-awareness, leadership, social influence, working with others, empathy, active listening, all working with others. Those are things that you learn through a variety of different ways, and the committee took note of that. There's not a class that you take that teaches those particular things. You learn them from doing other things throughout your academic and just general development. Some of those things can be learned. Principal Mills talked about all the kids that were in speech and debate. You can learn those doing speech and debate. You can learn them on the football field. You can learn them in the classroom. There's a lot of different places on a job. There's a lot of different places you can learn those things. But as we talk about having our students being future ready, the importance of these skills, I think, was critical for the group to understand. Interestingly, I thought, and Casey can speak to this as well, but if you look down at number 21, that's where you start to see reading, writing, and mathematics. It's important, obviously, that you can perform those skills, but these interpersonal skills, these engagement skills, I guess, with others is the things that are going to be important to employers, regardless of the type of job that we can't even probably fathom what's going to be important for our kids for jobs that don't exist yet, I guess, even is what we speak to. Did you want to jump in, Casey?
Yeah, I want to connect dots a little bit. One of the LRSP action items that Patrick McClellan is leading is the building out of the profile of the graduate. Right now, it's 5 items, 5 buckets, but we're going to build out K-12. What exactly are those behaviors and skills for social and academic? If you fast forward that plan, if you fast forward 3 years, we're reporting out to parents and to our community around those skills. So you would graduate with a transcript on reading and math and all of your courses, but also reporting out on how are we doing on these. They used to call them soft skills, and now the language is they're not soft, they're durable, and so they're calling them durable skills. But we know that those are the important things. Our community values those things, and when I'm looking to hire people, they need to have those things that are on the top of that list.
The other thing and it's also interesting, I won't belabor the point, but if you look at the things on the bottom, the blues and the greens, ethics, physical abilities are on obviously within the top 26. I don't know how deep the list actually went, but as far as the ones that made the slide, those were towards the bottom. So interesting discussions about that. The other topic, not necessarily related to this slide, but of interest to me, was conversations about, and we've talked in this room many times about how there's 400 school districts in Montana, and that creates a lot of operational inefficiencies. There's talk about having schools, the smaller schools, having access to curriculum, and perhaps the state should vet curriculum and weed things down to a list of 4 or 5 reading curriculums that will work for schools to teach from, and then they could pick, still retain local control, but they could pick the particular curriculum that they want to proceed with. So we talked about that, and then I threw into the room the fact that the recent legislative sessions have worked to standardize the 400 school districts we have with a relatively common salary schedule from the STARS Act, House Bill 332, self-insurance. We talked about House Bill 203 was the open enrollment, so we've all got the same enrollment rules now. Policies are being standardized. Tax equalization is everywhere. There's money set aside for countywide interlocal agreements, so the state set aside that. So a common theme was that we have these 400 school districts, but they're all looking increasingly the same. I thought that was going to be kind of controversial to throw into the room, but it wasn't. The legislators were there actually embraced it and said, yeah, that's what we're doing. So I thought that was an interesting turn to the conversation, kind of an acknowledgement almost that there was 400 school districts and it wasn't that efficient. but that was part of the plan to move forward. So the group meets again in October. There's a meeting right before MCEL. There's a road show specifically in Kalispell and someplace Havre and Kalispell, and then there's a virtual online one for everyone else across the state who wants to participate. Those road shows is what they're calling are being facilitated by NCEE. There will be questions that you can answer on your phone, feedback you can provide with all that. So if you have time, that would be an interesting thing to participate in. Happy to answer any questions for you, but those were kind of my takeaways from the 2 days.
Sandy?
Mike, can we get a copy of this? I'd love a copy of that. That'd be awesome.
All right. Any other executive cabinet reports? All right, thank you. 7.2, Board of Trustees. Ayana.
Just an update with MTSBA that MCEL is in about a month. A couple of things about the delegate assembly and what we're voting on there. What's going to be coming up is the proposal that we put forward here about talking about systems, which really dovetails with what the school interim finance committee is talking about. One thing about MCEL is that Janice Case, who's with NCEE, she's going to be there, and I've participated with a couple of things that she's done and had conversations, and she's really incredible to talk to. I really appreciate her facilitation and her forward thinking. I feel like that's an important conversation to be connected to at that level and understanding what we're looking at, because I think we're on a similar path of what that committee is talking about and what our resolution is coming up that we're voting on. And then if you are going to MCEL, you'll see that the board of directors put forward a gap analysis resolution. It looks similar to the one from last year. A couple interesting things, also in addition to what Mike was saying about just local governance and what that means to different people in terms of the 400 different school boards that we have. So there's a little interesting language in there if you're interested. And then lastly, I just want to say that as far as my schools, I'm going to switch it out of MTSBA and talk about I'm planning to see my schools. I've been in contact with my principals and hope to be visiting them at the end of the week.
Thank you. Lauren?
On Friday, I was at Highlight for 3 hours for their PLCs and had the pleasure of listening to Katie McKinney talk about some of the reading things that they're putting into place, and then watch the teachers work through their process with Walk to Read. And once again, I'm just inspired by all the work they're doing behind the scenes to collaborate and work together. And the growth mindset in our teachers is really phenomenal, as some of the teachers are pivoting from things they're used to doing in the past. And I was impressed with all the work being done.
Thank you. Sarah?
Yes, this past Thursday, I had the opportunity to go to both of my schools because their back-to-school nights were the same 1 hour from 6:30 to 7:30 on Thursday evening. So I went to 2 different schools in 2 different parts of the community. So I was able to visit the teachers in the classrooms at Meadowlark Elementary and got to meet all the teachers as they welcomed their families back from 6:30 to 7:30, and then went over to Whittier and did the same. So I had the opportunity to meet wonderful teachers, and I was just blown away by the energy. I walked into these really great, creative, fun classrooms that just made me want to sit there and learn. And they were all different, but they all just had their own things that made them feel warm and welcoming and great. And then the other thing that really stood out to me was how much experience our teachers have. When I went to Whittier, I talked to more than one teacher who had been there for 30 plus years. And that's just really, really cool.
Thank you. Greg?
I attended back to school night at Irving on Thursday night and listened to Principal Westfall give a presentation on Title I, and then went out to the playground and stood at the table while ice cream was being served to students and parents. And They've got a good little community going there, very supportive pack. I learned from Principal Westfall that their numbers are up higher than they've been since before 2020, I guess, enrollment numbers. And there was some more that I can't think of right now, but it was a good visit. So I don't remember what the numbers were, but they were higher than last year.
Sandy?
Tomorrow, I think it's tomorrow, isn't it? Your guiding coalition, the meeting is. So I'm the liaison to Gallatin High this year and Bridger Academy, but I'm going to continue to attend the guiding coalition meetings that they've had. I think I've been going for a couple of years. It's incredible to be in this room of teacher leaders led by these two administrators in our room right now as they move forward with all the things that are going. So it'll be interesting to see year two of, you know, what, I don't know what's on the agenda necessarily, but year two of block scheduling and of collaborative work or whatever. So I'm going to stop by tomorrow and just hang with them for a while.
All right, thank you. Casey, you have something else?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot it on executive cabinet report. I think I've mentioned this a couple times, but it's, we have a date now. So Megan Roth, is part of her outward-facing work, she has two main projects. One is the Fellows Program, where she has about 16 pre-K preschool providers that she's doing professional development and coaching in collaboration with Dr. Christine Lux at Montana State University. The other one is a Bozeman Reads Community Coalition, which is trying to bring together a variety of stakeholders, Thrive, United Way, City of Bozeman, the list is quite long, to own the birth to 5 literacy and numeracy goals. She has a kickoff meeting October 9th from 9 to 1. I'm not sure on location, I can get location. And then it's likely going to be a quarterly meeting. We are looking for a trustee or trustees that are interested in being part of that group and kind of seeing it through the end. And so if one or more of you are interested, I'll have you let board leadership know, and then I can get you connected with Megan and all the details. So again, the kickoff is October 9th from 9 to 1.
Sandy?
Casey, with that, will you have the dates for the other 3 meetings also?
I don't think she has those dates. I think it's a bit dependent upon the will of the group.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Okay, again, thank you. Also, thank you to the trustees for reporting out kind of what you're doing at schools. I think that's, I appreciate that in putting out in the public that we not only meet here every other week or twice a month at times, but also the other work that we're doing in going to schools and seeing what's going on. So I appreciate those, that additional work, as well as making, putting it together and bringing it here and communicating it out. So thank you very much. With nothing else, I'll adjourn this meeting.